spot on, fresh and direct on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
There's a reason why over 1 million people tune into Hard Facts every day. We discuss in-depth stories with sources behind the facts.
The Lagos State High Court has convicted, suspended the Chicago certificate story. It's never going away, is it? Show with stories for the day.
You hear diverse voices and opinions.
And she was meeting campaign with her husband, knowing that.
You should not be happy because there is nothing to happy about.
Yeah, it's quite pathetic the way the country is going.
We distinguish each story accurately with analysis.
It's Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info. This is Hard Facts.
Five minutes gone past the 4 o'clock hour. This is Hard Facts. This is the nation's #1 talk news and sports radio station. I did tell you that since we're still talking about the defections and all of the crisscrossing, and this is just the beginning, by the way, we're going to see more and more of these defections and cross-capping. You see some people drive forward and drive back again. Just like my guest said last week, Thursday, that more and more defections are going to come and we must brace ourselves for it. But let me give you some background into our conversation before I introduce my guest. Some activists across the country have called every single person's attention. They're trying to say, look. As Nigerian citizens, we must resist the urge to move towards a one-party state. I'll tell you why. A group said that there is a calculated, systematic effort by the administration to dismantle the democratic foundations of our republic and reduce Nigeria to a one-party state. Now, for those who've been following, recent trends in Nigerian politics have raised concerns about the visibility of opposition parties in Nigeria. It would seem that, the days of multi-party democracy is receding. On Sunday, a group of 18 Nigerian activists and academics released a statement urging citizens to defend democracy and resist attempts towards creeping the country into authoritarianism. The group, whose members referred to themselves as Democrats, said, and I quote, "There's a calculated and systematic effort by the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to dismantle the democratic foundations of our republic to reduce Nigeria to a one-party state." The group alleged that political pluralism is being eroded under this administration through bribery, blackmail, coercion, etc., etc. In fact, they're saying that serving and former governors, senators, members of the House of Representatives, and key opposition figures are decamping en masse to the ruling party, not out of conviction, but out of fear and pressure. This is what the statement said. And that's the basis for our conversation this afternoon. I'd like to introduce my guest quickly, and then, of course, we'll move into conversations proper. My guest is a public policy enthusiast. He's always an interesting person to have on the show. Aniekan Joseph is joining us live via Zoom. Aniekan, it's so good to have you join us. Good evening.
Always a pleasure, Maryann. Good evening. Good evening, audience. Good evening, Nigerians.
Great.
And this is an exciting topic.
Very exciting. Earlier today, I played a clip from former Governor Kowa, who's a former running mate of Atiku Abubakar, as he hit back at former Senate President Bukola Saraki, who actually queried his move from the PDP to the APC. And he said, "Look, sir, you cannot remove the log in my eye because there's one in your eye. You started this crisscrossing, so why are you even speaking?" But then the core of this conversation is it possible for us to be tending towards a one-party system?
The simple answer to that is yes.
Why?
However, Maryann, there is a complicated answer. So let me give you justifications for the simple answer. You know, we run a system where the federal government of Nigeria is the treasury for the country. There are not more than 3 or 4 states that can pay salaries of workers without federal government allocation to those states. Now, when the person who holds the purse strings by constitution, because our constitution gives incredible power to the center, all the way, including resource control. So when you are the president, you have all of that power. It makes sense for people to immediately run to you because you have demonstrated that you can use it in a way that affects them. Especially because you yourself you've been a victim of that federal power. But the only reason why he could survive it was because he had a state that he could engineer resource mobilization around and deal with that. So the current president, when he was governor, built experience firsthand that this is how you can use federal power to make everybody respond to you. And if your state has abysmal IGR, 1, 2, is desperate for certain projects that only the federal government can facilitate, and 3, the political environment suggests that you need to deliver certain tangibles for you to have a chance at the second tenure or be able to position a successor. It only makes sense that you're going to think about the campaign.
I want to go back to 2013, 2014, 2015, because people keep making reference to that as the beginning of what we're seeing today, because nothing really happens overnight. Whereas the NPDP, which was spearheaded by the likes of Bukola Saraki, we also saw at the time I was in River State. Chibuike Amechi was the governor of River State, and we saw how he collapsed everything and took it to the APC, which also meant that he was supporting Buhari, who he worked under for a couple of years. Why do you think that in Nigeria, where we still haven't gotten to a point, because we call our democracy a nascent one, but we haven't still gotten to a point where we want to begin to give ourselves ideologies, and I'm talking about political parties. Why is it convenient for parties to just continue to ride the winds when it comes to political ideologies?
There are a number of reasons, but there are the biggest ones. We are so multicultural, Maryann, that it is not in your interest to stick to an idea when there is a chance that that idea is not just alien to another group of people. It is completely against their own functional ethos. That's on one hand. Secondly, the country is so huge that the logistics to mobilize people at the national scale indicates that you need some sort of coalition to the scale that is realistic and can compete with the opposition. And the moment you do that intelligent self-assessment and say, well, we've been able to raise 6 billion or 9 billion or 10 billion, and the guys you're trying to jostle with have 14, 15, 20, 30 billion, all of a sudden you realize that you're still going to spend your 9 billion and you achieve nothing. And so when you look at the multicultural nature of the country, and you look at the geographical spread of it, and you consider what it takes to mobilize people locally, zonally, regionally, and nationally, you now begin to be cautious, because now, whether you go full on or you are half-hearted, you are going to be hurt. And it is this check that people do, especially when you're in politics, you're asking yourself, when a governor says he might be moving, it's a significant step at first self-survival, that save yourself, and then give yourself a chance to be able to fight in the future.
I want to talk about smaller parties. At some point, there were 40-something. And then we prescribed most of them and, said, hey, let's knock them down and, get some serious political parties. and now we have about maybe 17 or so. I'm not very certain. Out of those, we still, I mean, this is detail for several other countries. You always have the major political parties, and then the ones who are maybe grassroots and all of that. As we see today, all of these political parties who are somewhat major in a way, for example, APGA is now a one-party state, Anambra. The NMPP is a one-party state, Kano.
Correct.
Labour Party, a little bit here and there, they're trying their best.
Yes.
But majorly APC and the PDP. And the bigger question everyone's asking is, all of these parties, as we speak, have internal wranglings. One that's big enough to crumble all of them. And then we're seeing more and more of these mass movements into the biggest party, which is the party at the center. Does it mean that these parties, especially for, let's use the Labour Party, I know that they're going to come for me. This is a party that Nigerians somewhat were in support of. They hoped that this was a party for the people. But what we see playing out in the Labour Party, not necessarily palatable, and it looks like there's no end in sight. Where is the party? Where are the political parties that really are there in the interest of the people, as opposed to stomach infrastructure politics?
That's a part question as usual, Maryann. Where are the parties? If we really examine this matter, one thing comes to mind really quickly. Culturally, historically, parties are built on the momentum of an individual. So we may like to think that the alphabets and the logos are a sign of a different mindset. But when we do this maybe 26-year analysis, you would see that there is a leading personality that people who are intuitive would say, this is the wave that we must ride. So it is not that there is an idea. It is that there is a person with an idea. And this person is what is hot right now, and we have to ride it. So when we really think about it, the romantic thought that we may be operating an ideological electoral process, because the word democracy has been thrown around rather dangerously. It's a process where we choose people, it's an electoral process. It's not necessarily grounded on ideas. It is grounded on waves. And that's where, although Peter Obi came up as an amazing high wave, it had nothing to do with the Labour Party. It had everything to do with Peter Obi. And when the next personality and the next big thing comes around, any alphabet or any combination of colors can be put around that person in the name of a political party. But reality is, our politics is that of the popular person with the popular idea. And that is how we've been rolling.
Isn't that the mistake in itself? Because let's say the DNC in South Africa, with or without a Nelson Mandela, it is the DNC. Yes. With or without a Jacob Zuma, it is still the DNC. And same for the party with the guy with the red cap. And ditto for several other political parties, let's say the Republicans, the Democrats, the Tories in the UK, the Labour Party, the Lib Dems, they all have... So, because you hear Nigerian politicians say, oh, it's the party that you run on the platform of the party, so if you've left the party, then you should leave the seat. If we're placing emphasis on the party, why is it not showing as opposed to us laying emphasis on a person? Because I guess that is where the problem is, isn't it?
Of course it is, but I'm going to just call it also. It's just when a situation is convenient, politicians will claim it. The same politicians who a few months ago said, you cannot just leave a party, there's got to be a reason. We are seeing people in states that do not have the semblance or even a rumor of crisis. The whole parties are moving, So that remark is made when it's convenient. And we have to just call it that. these are guys that are, again, they are riding waves and they are saying, this is how the tide is changing. These are the moves we need to make if we're going to remain relevant, first to ourselves, then to our people, and ultimately to the future ambition that we carry. So when all of the examples you have outlined, there is a way you can define each of them beyond what is written against the logo. There's something that they really believe.
Yeah, but why don't we have that in Nigeria? That's the thing. Because the ANC in South Africa, you know why the ANC came. I mean, for anybody who follows politics across the globe, you know obviously what the ANC stands for. Same thing for any other political party I would call. But in Nigeria, there is no such thing. I mean, even though there is, back in the day, actually, the Labour Party did have some, reason behind it. So for the SDP and the NRC and the previous parties that we had before now.
Correct. We have evolved as a people, Maryann. The survival instinct in us is what drives us now. We run a political system where the winner takes all. Think about it. In other countries, the leading candidate has to think about building a coalition government, right? Not here, not in Nigeria. In Nigeria, you can win with the lowest margin and own the entire federal government. And who wants to be the loser? Who wants to be that person that didn't recognize that, well, it looks like this wave is leaving us. Let's jump on the boat. So if we are going to solve that problem, we've got to consider the idea, for instance, that we are going to look at what percentage did this political party have and what size of the government does that come to? And then you will begin to see where people really stick to what they believe because there is a chance that they will get a place and space in government. That winner takes all mentality is something that nobody is prepared to manage. Because when you've invested all like you did, no one brings you into government except by the generosity of the winner. In which case that has happened a couple of times with Obasanjo bringing in Bola Ige and etc. So it's a winner takes all mentality. And because that is our current political reality, INEC can come and tell you, oh, you're free to register a party. Of course you are. The Constitution gives us the guarantee that we can create an associate. Of course we can. But when you recognize immediately that the return letter goes to who wins, and that person owns the entire factor of governmental production, you now have to say, is it even worth the fight?
Let's talk about, I have just 2 minutes before we go on a quick break.
Sure.
Where do we come in as a people? Because you see, right from when I was a child, I am from a family of politicians and lawyers. And every time we heard, that politics is a dirty game, you can't get, except you're ready to roll with the pigs. But where do we, the people, stand in this thing? Because it looks like it's always us and them, and then we can never cross into that line. But what are we doing wrong as followers? Because whether or not we consciously participate or engage, the fallouts of every election cycle affects us mostly. What are we not getting right?
I think that most people do what the politicians do. Most people don't want to lose. So I'm sure you've heard this before. If you vote for this party, you're wasting your vote because that party is not winning. Now, because there is a negative psychological trigger to losing, people would rather be part of a lousy team that is winning than to be on the side of a real progressive team that may lose. Now, for the first time in a very long time, people actually considered that they may win more than they may lose which is why the Labour Party had a very strong showing. Any other party, of course, the PDP and those guys really thought they had a chance, you know. But the Labour Party was the first time the electorate in Nigeria put their necks out to say, there's a chance here, there's something happening here. And that is the commodity that we must protect. Where the people, again, these are professionals, working class people across the country that decided that I am going to take this bet. And it is going to be a huge opportunity to do something dramatic. It is that particular state of mind that if we had leaders at the Labour Party, they are going to sustain that mindset with ongoing communications.
But I mean, that car has broken down halfway. We're going to take a quick break. Aniekan is still with us in the studio. After the break, we'll come back. We're talking about Nigeria leaning towards a one-party system. Is it possible? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
More conversation, more talk, more right after this.
Meals have a way of taking us on a journey. And when you add plenty of vegetables like efo, ugu, and season with the rich taste of North seasoning cubes, even better.
So, go ahead and elevate your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of Knorr cubes. Today, eat for good.
The question is not why South Africa. The real question is how you South Africa. How you'll come across 1,000 tongues that all speak in one voice. Welcome. How you can wake up with one foot firmly planted in the Indian Ocean and the other in the Atlantic Ocean. How diamonds and couture are but a stone's throw away from the safari. How your tongue will visit 1,000,000 destinations on one plate. How your feet will sway in djembe, your torso in amapiano, and your mind in bliss. How crystal clear rivers flow in the day and crystal flows in the night. Whoa. We know this because this is how we South Africa every single day. And this is why we invite you to South Africa with us. So come see, touch, taste and feel South Africa. Come journey with us. Visit www.southafrica.net and see for yourself.
It's amazing how your child grows up before your eyes. Enable their thriving development and the care they need with the new NanKid 4 with HMOs to support your child's development, probiotics to help your child's digestion and development, and high-quality proteins to support age-appropriate growth. And all of these work together to support your child's development and growth today and tomorrow. NanKid 4. Nourish your child's potential.
There is something about good news. You can't keep it to yourself.
Guys, it has finally happened.
There is something about joy. You can't keep it to yourself. And there is something about the rich taste of Lipton. You can't keep it to yourself.
When you get something you enjoy, you share. Lipton Yellow Label. Tea so good, you want to share.
Janet, what if it is where you buy?
Now all we are going to use cook now.
Unbranded oil we then put for bottle.
Something when I shikini money and it do me well.
Hey, Janet, make you remember say I wolf the wrong belly.
Which one make I come buy?
Now Devon King's oil. Now correct oil, fortified with vitamin A.
Now correct choice for me and my family.
Yes, now you could buy the one where your money reach and enjoy tasty meals.
True talko, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you, Wella.
Now so, my correct friend. Devon Kings, taste where they bring people together. You fit find them for any store around you.
Anything I want. Mama, they don't dash me 20,000 naira.
My picking, who
Who they dash 20,000 naira for this kind time?
That they dash everybody will get smart cash account 20,000 naira.
You mean them go dash me 20,000 naira a wolf too?
Yes, so mama. That they dash all old and new smart cash users 20,000 naira a wolf.
Oh yeah, tell your yard people make them dial *939# or download Smart Cash app to open their own account. Make themselves enjoy 20k a wolf. Every time when you buy airtime or pay bills with Smart Cash, you go chop inside your 20k. Terms and conditions they shall.
I don't see my own a wolf. Oh.
Smart Cash, powered by Airtel.
Well, you asked for it,
and New Central has delivered.
Now you've got it.
Yes, New Central is live on GoTV Channel 23. Get the latest news and headlines from Nigeria and across the world. With GoTV, News Central gives you major stories and breaking news on politics, business, sports, and entertainment. You asked for it. And now, you've got it. News Central on GoTV Channel 23.
If person ask you, say, what's in the game where they totally you pass, you go tell them, say, now better know all the time. You go tell yourself, make you follow, join for the get betting options, fast cash out, missions where they engage you, and get welcome bonus with fit reach 200,000 naira. Better know, the game don't start. Make you the bet responsibly. Now, only for people who don't pass 18 years. Better know, na proud partner of Aston Villa.
What can your bank do for you? Meet Jane, 25 years old. She's been having troubles acquiring a loan from her bank.
This is not okay at all. I've been on this queue forever, and you're saying I should fill another form. What's going on?
What can your bank do for you? Meet Frank, 27 years old, held up in traffic and making fruitless transactions.
Mama, I have saved the airtime, even the electricity charges. I don't know why it's so difficult making this payment.
Introducing Safri, a lifestyle digital bank that's designed just for you. With one click, you can make easy and fast payment transactions, pay bills, and even acquire easy loans. Hurry and download the Safri app on your Play Store. Visit safrisafri.com for more information. Safri, borderless banking.
Art Miabo International Art Festival invites you to Art Economy, a celebration of creativity, commerce, and culture where innovation meets inspiration. Join us at the Admiralty Conference Center in Victoria Island, Lagos, Nigeria, from the 29th of April to the 1st of May 2025. Tickets available at tix.africa/AMIAF Festival, in partnership with MultiChoice Nigeria, JC Dakar, Moet Hennessy, Nevada, and Cask. Brought to you by Art Miabo.
Life is always full of wahala, but there is music, passion, feelings, and good vibes. Take a ride with InDrive app to get there on your own terms. You decide what your life will be full of and choose a fair price for this ride. InDrive, the InDrive online passenger transportation aggregator, is not a taxi service. Find more information at www.indrive.com.
It's the greatest for me. Hunger makes your cooking fun. Happiness, we go fill your belly. Enjoy the taste and aroma daily.
Hunger for great taste and aroma.
For 3 great seasons, the fans have fought with passion and fire, their best they brought. The banter was bold, the debates were tight, each word a weapon, each match a fight. But now it's bigger, the stakes much higher, the battle returns and it's full of fire. Fan Battle 4 with Femi and the gang on 99.3 Nigeria Info. The stage is bang. In partnership with Sports Salon, we raise the game with glory, honor, and a shot at fame. Think you've got what it takes to score? Then step right up. It's time for more.
Live auditions for Fan Battle 4 are on Saturday, May the 10th from 10 a.m. at Nigeria Info Studios, 267A at Tim Ian Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos.
Fan Battle 4. Let the battle begin.
Life is always full of wahala, but there is music, passion, feelings, and good vibes. Take a ride with InDrive app to get there on your own terms. You decide what your life will be full of and choose a fair price for this ride. InDrive. The InDrive online passenger transportation aggregator is not a taxi service. Find more information at www.indrive.com.
Is that Alfie playing football in the rain?
It's Toby Chio.
My goodness. When did he grow up? That's it with kids, so.
It's amazing how your child grows up before your eyes. Enable their thriving development with the new NanKid 4 with HMOs to support your child's development, probiotics, and high-quality proteins to support age-appropriate growth. NanKid 4. Nourish your child's potential.
Mr. Teacher, please, what happens when children come to school? How is it that they leave home very neat and return looking so different?
Non-stop action, ma. All the learning and sports burn energy. So those sweat stains, dirty uniforms and shoes, they show that your kid has been very active.
Now, wow.
Your kids need nourishing energy. Give them Milo at breakfast. It has nutrients that support energy release to help them get the most out of the day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo!
Attention, Airtel customers. If your line has been blocked, then this is for you. Head to the nearest Airtel shop with your NIN. Our friendly staff will help you get your line back up and running. Don't let a blocked line keep you out of touch.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Every day is about winning with one play on Nigeria Info. On Nigeria Info Daily Winnings is now over 150,000 naira. Just go to oneplay.ng or dial *347 *880 *3#. Play with as little as 500 naira, and in a few seconds, your ticket is in the draw. The more you play, the better your chances of winning every day on the Morning Crossfire, WhatsApp Lagos, and Game On shows on weekdays, and the Football Frenzy shows on weekends. But that's not all. Every Friday, there will be a 500,000 naira jackpot. Playing during the week automatically qualifies you for the weekly jackpot. Your chances of winning are the same whether you play on oneplay.ng or dial *347 *880 *3#. Remember to play responsibly. Not suitable for persons under the age of 18. OnePlay is a registered trademark under Lasho Trading Services Limited, licensed by the Lagos State Lotteries and Gaming Commission.
And Janet, what be this way you buy?
Now oil we are going to use cook now.
Unbranded oil we dem put for bottle.
Something when na shikini money and it do me wella.
Hey, Janet, make you remember say I wolf the run belle.
Which one make I come buy?
Now Devon King's oil. Now correct oil, fortified with vitamin A.
Now correct choice for me and my family.
Yes, you fit buy the one where your money reach and enjoy tasty meals.
True talk. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you wella.
Now so, my correct friend. Devon Kings, taste where they bring people together. You fit find them for any store around you.
Food isn't just food. Some moments are best served on a plate. Warm, familiar, unforgettable. Telling a story of tradition, of family, of where we come from and where we're going. Food is more than a meal. It's a memory, a connection, a taste of where we belong. And at the GTCO Food and Drink Festival, every bite is an experience. Come hungry, very hungry for food and for knowledge. Enjoy exclusive chef master classes. The kids will love the Children's Play Center, and you can dive into a vibrant food market filled with exciting flavors and hard-to-find ingredients that will transform every meal. This is more than just food. It's culture. It's community. We're supporting small businesses, celebrating local talent, and bringing food lovers together. Join us at the GTCO Food and Drink Festival, happening Friday, May 2nd to Sunday, May 4th, 2025 at Plus One Water Corporation Drive, Uniru, Victoria Island, Lagos. The GTCO Food and Drink Festival, promoting enterprise.
Welcome back to your #1 talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
Millions of listeners trust us on Hard Fact. Whether it's politics, social issues, controversies, and trending stories. You know we're credible and objective.
It's Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
38 minutes gone past the 4 o'clock hour. It's still Hard Facts, 99.3 Nigeria Info. We still have Aniekan Joseph with us in the studio. We're looking at Nigeria's political trajectory and where we're headed in the next 2 years and maybe in the future. Could it be that we might be tilting towards a one-party state? And what would that get us? And where is the opposition if most of them are emptying into the one party that's at the center? What can we, the people, do? Before we went on that break, of course, we've been talking with Aniekan Joseph, but we'd like for you to be part of the conversation. What role do you think you can play? Because it looks like we're at a point where we are throwing our hands in the air, or basically throwing in the towel and saying, these guys, it's never going to get better. But who are we leaving it to? I mean, are we letting fate decide what happens to us as a people? Or are we going to consciously participate to change or bring about the change that we all desire? I do not know, but that answer lies with you. Call the number 0201277093. What role can we play to change the fortunes of our country, Nigeria? For the ladies, 0201-465-7190. And you can join the conversation. We're live on Facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're also live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. Join the conversation. If you are on WhatsApp, it's 08095975805. 60 seconds is all you have. Please go straight to the point. Hello.
Hello, Maryann.
Yes, good evening. Turn off your radio.
That's done.
Go ahead.
Godman here.
Go ahead.
Obvious, this is turning to be like one party that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Obviously, even a blind man can see the steps this Tinubu is taking and everything, the way it's turning out. Mm-hmm. Now, my point is, what can we do as a people? We don't want that. I'm sure we don't. If we allow it, that's what's going to be. Some people are claiming, no, it's never going to be. It can't be. But look at it. It's very obvious. Now, if we don't want that to do, if we allow it to happen, then it will happen. We must not allow this to happen. We have to put pressure. We have to come to maybe like a protest or something, a massive, because it's APC against the people. APC has brought misery upon Nigerians.
Can I ask a question? And I don't mean to be condescending or anything. The last time you protested, what happened? What change did you bring about?
Okay, if you ask me that question, you've always been saying, let's not put God into this. Let's not put God is there. He has given us what to do.
Because he's not a politician.
So we still need to protest the way Kenya did it. Kenya is getting results. Why are they getting results? Let's do it the way they are doing it. And then I think there'll be a change on that regard. Okay.
Godman, say let's do Kenya. Do you have the staying power of Kenya? Hello.
Good afternoon, Maryann.
Good evening. What's your name, sir? Where are you calling from?
Okay, good evening. Sorry. Yeah, this is Samuel.
Go ahead.
Yeah, from Mopik. Yeah. I think to me, I will go by the way of we having a kind of what I call self-realization. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about we, the followers. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, you see these people, they are migrating, emigrating, and what have you. Why? Because of 2027. But they have the consciousness of what they really want to do by 2027, even right away from 2024. Mm-hmm. But we as a people, what are we putting in place so as to know, fine, who do we really want? It's not really more of, political colorations. I always tell people, who are the PDP, who are the APC? We are talking about, look, for instance, you Mimi right now in Nigeria Info. If you're out there now, tomorrow you go to CNN, the same voice, the same your look, the same everything about you. You see what to be hearing. So it has nothing to do whether political party or whatever. But how set are we to really choose who really do want? And again, if they don't pick the one that we want, are we mature enough? Are we coordinated enough? Are we, united enough to speak one voice that, okay, this is what we want, just by the way of our voting? Of course, we know many of these guys were not even voted in. They were just imposed on us. But with strong will and strong determination, we'll get there some way. Right. So, we've had a lot of voices concerning party. It is not. It is the same people. The people, the PDP and the APC and the APC and the
all right, thank you. I need to let you go, not because you're not making sense, but because I need to take all the calls. Thank you so much for your thoughts. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Maryann, good evening.
Good evening.
This is Ordinary Malik speaking.
Go ahead.
Maryann, that guy just said it all. We the followers, what we want. We have what we want chop. Now who give money would they vote for? But there's something we forget, Maryann. Obasanjo did the same thing in 2003. He picked every state left with Lagos State. He took this man by his will and his grace to build up his own party. The other PD people that are coming out is defecting. Were they now choosing Jersey too? It's left for the people. You can do one party system. If the people does not want it, at time of election, we die there, but who won't die? I don't want to leave my daughter. Who won't die? I don't let you. The issue is this. Nigerians, the ball is in our hands. We own the rice, we own the trip pan, we own the fact and the knife left for us to eat and cut. Okay. If we don't fit eat them again, now we sabi. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Mali, for calling. 0201-277-0993, 0201-465-7190. That is for the ladies only. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Hi, Maryann.
Hi.
Zoboli.
Zoboli, go ahead, please.
Good evening to you and your guests. First off, I tend to get confused. Whenever we say the country is tending to a one-party state, one of your OAP will say it's a one-party domination. So I'd like that clarified, number one. Number two, it's not everybody that collected money from this government or this unrealistic administration. So whenever we are generalizing it and saying the people this, the people that, there are still some saints who refuse to be bribed, who refuse to receive things from this administration that was self-imposed
in the minority, Mrs. Aboli. They don't have consenting voices.
I'm not disputing that, okay? But let's avoid the generalization. That's number one. Number two, even if they are in the minority, Maryann, I put it to you, this administration did not get there through our votes. There was abracadabra in the ninth. And I'm still saying something. I want your guests to please tell me, should we process our PVCs when the time comes for us to vote? Because I'm going to put a whole lot of people that are saying it's not us, it's not us, it's not this. I'm going to put them to the test. Will you be there to fight for that which you voted for with your blood and your sweat?
Okay.
If put us to shuffle, would you be there to stand and defend your vote?
All right,
that's the question.
Bully.
Our PVCs are useless if there's no aggressiveness.
Thank you for calling.
I'm not inciting anybody because I'm really angry this afternoon.
All right. So that question, obviously, I'm bringing it back to the audience. Can you do, because Aniekan, someone said, we need to occupy like the Kenyans, but do we have the staying power of the Kenyans? I see you shaking your head like it's not us.
It's not an effective way to use our time. There are other things that we could do, but we have to do them recognizing the obstacles ahead, and that's how we just need to have this conversation intellectually more than emotionally.
So
I'll give you an example.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, most Nigerians know by now that the ballot is the most effective way to create political change. However, everything around the ballot has been politicized. From the way the umpire is funded to the operations of the umpire itself, and the way the judiciary opens the back door for the umpire to excuse itself when it's convenient or not. So as the people who own, or the group, as Nigerians with a permanent voters card, everybody needs to be aware that these are the challenges that we have, so that when we take a step, we are proactively prepared to manage the challenges that we foresee. We don't need to waste effort, resources, and more lives protesting because, there's good faith lack of capacity in our security forces. So they will overreact and get emotional and lives will be lost. So what we have to be quite aware of ourselves, our weaknesses, where we are professionally, intellectually, and even as individuals, so that we are not exposed to our weaknesses and suffer needlessly.
A question I always ask on air, and I ask it's more of a monologue I have every now and again about how after every election cycle, the politicians have already started strategizing. I mean, we're in 2025 and these guys are talking 2027 already. And they're yet to give us power. They're yet to fix our roads. They're yet to fix the healthcare. The agriculture is in comatose. What do we need to do to also be 10 steps ahead of them? And why aren't we? Because I don't believe that we're dull people, neither are we dumb. So what is the challenge?
That's a wonderful question. I think that the easiest thing that could be done is not being done, Maryann. There is a way conversations can be had, but we're not just there yet. We find that these guys have the opportunity to speak, either themselves or through their proxies, and we need to bring the conversation to them in a way that makes it obvious that you cannot excuse the current state of things. And the quality of the conversation will make it abundantly clear that these guys cannot continue. You cannot continue to gaslight people. So first the quality of conversation, and then the way we scrutinize actions. So for instance, we hear something like some 900 million that was used to renovate Warri Refinery, and it looks like we may have pieced that away. And the question is, what institution was responsible for that? How are we holding that institution responsible? Because it is that institution that is responsible for the change we're looking to see. So the institutional capacity for change there needs to be questioned. So sometimes we do not always want to focus on the politicians. It's enough to now say, who is the head of corporate communications for NNPC? Let this person come and give us some information. And the moment you feel that pressure at the right centers, people begin to say, hey, politician, I don't want to go and answer these type of questions anymore. We either do this or I walk. So we have to come back to the really effective, easy things. Have the right conversations, bring the right people, and hold them to account in a comfortable space. We can't bring certain people and be shouting at them. We just need to ask the right questions and then give them the opportunity to walk themselves into a trap. And then all of a sudden, people recognize that, you know what, although nobody is crying and shouting, it is clear that people are benefiting from the status quo. And we now begin to do what we call interest mapping. Who are those behind this, and how can we get them, to be accountable? We can make this happen, but it can't be emotional.
Okay, it can't be emotional. All right, let's take a few more calls. Hello.
No, later.
Hello, you are calling the female line and you're a man. When did you change your sex? Hello.
Good afternoon, madam.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Adeumi. I'm calling from Kobakpe, Abeokuta.
Go ahead, please.
I want to speak on this, your vote don't count. If your vote don't count, how come Bola Tinubu lost Lagos State to Obi? How come Eli Rufai lost Kaduna State? How come President Buhari lost Katsina State? Remember when Obasanjo was trying to take Lagos State from Bola Tinubu, he paralyzed all activities in Lagos State. No light, no security. But with your vote, Bola Tinubu still won the election. When Obasanjo saw the result, he said to INEC, this is not the type of election you reach. The gap is too wide. Leave Lagos State for Bola Tinubu. You see?
So are you saying
go
that
out and vote massively for the person you want? Just go out and vote.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
It's his opinion. He says your vote could count if you actually go out en masse, because I think that's also, in my opinion, that might not necessarily count, but there's that strategy of voter apathy. They want it to happen because the lesser people, the easier it is to manipulate the election. So he might have a point there.
That may be correct, Maryann, but there's something that he conveniently ignored. In every state where it looks as though the opposition won, the opposition was exactly what the national figure was. So when you see a strong state, it is because the factors of political production have been captured. Let's again, in the way we have these conversations, we can't be romantic. You think Tinubu owned Lagos State because the electorate of Lagos turned out en masse? No. Tinubu understood that the person that is INEC in this state is mine. And every production, everything in the conveyor belt of elections in Lagos, he controlled. It's the only way. You can't, if you had left it to the institutions themselves to fight, it would never have happened. And that is why you can see certain states have been a certain party for a while. It's not just because the people, it's because everyone is playing the game. Most of these guys in the opposition want to be in Tinubu's position. And let's be clear about it. If today, all of these guys that are decamping are the president, they might not be as sophisticated as Tinubu is, because what Tinubu is doing is state capture, but in a quite sophisticated way.
Okay. I wish I had enough time for us to go on and on, but this is all the time we have. Aniekan Joseph is a public policy enthusiast, and always a pleasure to have him here with us on Hard Facts. Thank you so much, Aniekan, for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much. All right. Well, Lagos, we're going to go on a quick break, but before we do that, David has something quickly for us.
Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.